you are. We are in the Bay Area. I think temperature is 72 degrees. It's going to be today. And I know you're ready for Vinney and Beau show, just like we come every week.
Another Friday in the books. I wasn't much of a runner, but now I started running at the gym because I'm like a little short guy with a lot of muscle, so it's hard to run.
We are Vinney and Beau show coming live to you from San Francisco, the great Bay Area, right here from Danville, Blackhawk. We always come to you on Friday at 9:30 a.m. 9:30 a.m. Pacific and 12:30 p.m. Over there in the East Coast. Well, good morning, everybody. We are live from San Francisco, myself in Danville. We got Beau Eckstein from Las Vegas, Henderson, and we got a great guest, David Mulvaney from Jacksonville, Florida, right there south of Jacksonville. And it's going to be a great show. Beau, how are you, brother?
I'm doing well, and I guess Jacksonville got missed by the hurricane.
Yes.
In Jacksonville, that we're the easternmost city on the United States, and
it's cutting in and out. Is that right? There's something is happening. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Dave. Yeah.
Signal, but
no, it is missing. It's missing somehow. Some words are coming. So sorry about the technical difficulty, but see if you are able to. Okay, say again. Yeah.
I apologize, Vinney. I just coming in and out. I got a great.
Yeah, it is coming in.
Jacksonville got.
Go ahead, Beau. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, I was going to have David, go back. Let's put him out and back in. Maybe that might help him. Hold on a second.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah.
And then let's put him back in. They might be having technical difficulties because Florida's probably. All right, let's try it again to see if your sound is there.
Here?
Yeah, we can hear a little bit words, David, and then we can't hear you. And then a little bit words again. Wow. Let's see here. Sorry about everybody.
Go ahead.
Hey, life is
we'll go.
Such.
Yeah, if David, actually log out of the system and then try to come back in. Maybe that will solve it.
And if not, Dave. Yeah.
If not, it might mean that because Florida's got a lot of
surely
that aren't getting power. But if David completely logs out and then goes back and hits that link, he may come back in with a better.
Okay, wonderful. I'd love to tell. I was very much looking forward to it. Dave has tremendous experience over 30 years, has been a self-employed entrepreneur and investor building sales companies, marketing, global distribution channels. Dave's companies have generated over $250 million in sales, which is exciting, and Dave has been married with his wife, Beth, for over 30 years and has 2 adult children. At a young age, he started at 23 investment property he bought and then purchased his first business as 24 years of age. Since then, he's acquired tens of millions in real estate and businesses. He's an active real estate investor with the BDM Capital Group and loves helping people set up direct response marketing systems. That's what we're going to get into. I know lots and lots of people following us. They want to grow their sales, their businesses, their revenues, and all that. That's what we are planning to talk about today. He's a great copywriter. He's able to actually take businesses and do the direct response to reach the right clients or customers to make them flourish. That's what his whole cup of tea is. So Dave loves helping people set direct response marketing systems. If you're looking into that, stick on. It's going to be fantastic. That attract the right types of customers, the avatar, we call it, and to their businesses. His passion is helping entrepreneurs to find clarity of vision and purpose while revealing how to start, run, and grow business successfully. And you could reach him at davidmulvaney.com. Right there, davidmulvaney.com. Welcome, Dave. How are you, brother?
Hopefully, can you guys hear me okay now?
Yeah, perfect. Oh my
So
gosh.
it's just a setting on the microphone, but thanks for the intro, Vinny. I was saying that Jacksonville was fortunate. We
I know
often get spared. We are the easternmost city on the west coast of the United States, and the hurricanes tend to go around us, but not always. Nobody's, no place is safe. But I'm thankful that I'm able to be on the call today while others are really dealing with some tough things. But thank you for having me.
Sure. Nick, go ahead.
I'm sending out now. This is a great topic. We're going to talk about direct response. I've read some Dan Kennedy books. I'm sure you know who Dan Kennedy is. And I'm about to do some big email drops. I'm working with a company that does. They're going to send about 25,000 emails a day for me.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the framework for subject lines that you like? Can you kind of walk us through like the process of like when you get a new client, what that looks like, and how do we develop the pitch?
Well, first of all, I think to develop any sales presentation, pitch, whatever you want to call it, you have to know exactly who you are trying to target. And I know that like some people say, well, I just want to target real estate investors. That is far too broad in most cases. You could break that down. I just want to target wholesalers, or I want to target single family investors. And the reason you want to get the audience as tight as possible is because when you market to them, you can talk literally to a person. Marketing is not about talking to a group. It is always about talking to a person. And so I think that's where a lot of companies in the direct response space, they really miss it. They think quantity is better than quality. And like you mentioned, we're going to send out 25,000 emails. That's great if it's to a very warm list. If it's to a cold list, that becomes a very, I would just say, expensive way to market. I like to call it branding. So unless you have a Budweiser budget, you should never be doing branding in direct response marketing. I'm not saying you should never be doing branding. Don't get me wrong about that. But so once you target the audience, you literally create a message that's transformational for them. So that when you know who the audience is, you need to know what their struggles are, what their problems are, and you want to bring them to the point where like their problem seems so big in front of them, and they're reading your message, and they get to a point in your message where they're like, this is the only person who can solve my problem. It doesn't mean that there are other people. You don't have to be the only expert in any sector. You just have to be the one that your prospect knows about. And they know you're the right person to help them solve their problem, and they believe, because sometimes the belief comes from testimonials and other things, but and they believe you can solve their problem. As long as you've targeted them right, meaning they have enough money to buy into your offer, then you're going to have a great response. And that's what direct response really means. It means picking who you want to sell to, and more importantly, who you can solve a problem for. So, in Vinny's case, he helps a lot of people make this transition from single family investor to multifamily syndicator. That is a process that people go through, but somebody who's never invested in real estate might not be the ideal candidate for that, because they have no understanding of investing in real estate. They also have never experienced the pain of having a tenant destroy a place. They've also, all of those things. So I know that was a long answer, but it's not one little answer. It's a big answer, actually.
So when you're working with some of these businesses, are you doing direct mail still? I mean, that's kind of a forgotten art, but is direct mail still viable in some areas?
In my real estate investing business, I would say 70% of the properties we buy are from direct mail. Why? First of all, everybody wants to advertise on the internet today. So everybody's running ads, so it's very crowded. That means your pay per click or pay to acquire a customer is very expensive. So to answer the question, yes, I use direct mail, but really social media and ads are probably the most common way we go after clients on behalf of our clients. Is that we're going to use the internet. I mean, that's the most cost-effective way by far today to get customers. I mean, everybody's online. Everybody's got a smartphone. And in fact, 63% of all traffic online is on a smartphone. It's not even on a computer anymore. Of course, that includes, like iPads and things like that. But at the same time, so yes, we use direct mail, but it has to be specific for the audience if you can't reach them otherwise. Real estate investors they like to hide. They hide behind corporations. They hide. So finding them sometimes can only happen through the Postal Service. And so that sometimes if that's the person you're trying to reach, they got a property you want to acquire, sometimes the only way to get to them is through mail. But then the process would be they read a piece of mail. There's something that they're told to do that basically I ask for a response. And then, so they might go to my website and download, whatever, 5 things you need to know before you sell your multifamily facility. And it might be how they can sell on terms and make more money. It's going to be geared toward the way I'm taking them through a process of how I want to buy the property. And you want to make them think that they came to that conclusion on their own. But they didn't.
What lists are you finding right now to be the best list? Absentee owners? I mean, if you were looking at, let's just break it down and start with like single family type of rental. You want to buy single family properties. Where would you start with the list that you think would probably yield the best results? I mean, it probably depends on area and so forth, but I'm just wondering what your take is on this.
Vacant houses are typically, have always been a gold mine for me because they're vacant for a reason. Either somebody has moved out and they've been transferred, and that property may not be in foreclosure yet, but the people are facing a situation where I can't afford both these payments. So vacant houses are always going to be part of our process of going after people. The next thing, of course, would be divorces are a way that we do mail to divorces. Why? They end up in a situation where maybe the husband can't afford the house if they're going to, and it's, I will say this, it's one of the things I hate about real estate is to get the best leads. Sometimes you have to deal with some very awful situations, but when you realize you're solving their problem, that is more important. So the way I feel about it is if somebody's going to get foreclosed and I don't find them, I've done them a disservice. So it's not just about me making money or you making money. It's unfair. Like if you had the cure to cancer, but yet you had no ability to market it, that would be a disservice to the world because you have the thing that everybody needs. And so I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. They think of selling something instead of, if I just find the people who need what I do, and I can make sure that they have the problem that I can solve, they got the itch that I can scratch, then it's my duty as an entrepreneur to make sure I get my message in front of them enough times, because there's timing when it comes to any type of offer. You have to get people, you have to have the right message in front of the right audience at the right time. And then it always produces that response that you're looking for. But
Dave, can I ask you, like I've read and listened to 7 times somebody to really register. Is there something behind it, that number 7, that we have to get that message in front of people that long, that many times?
That's a great question. In that people buy from those they like and they trust. And so if somebody likes you, they will listen to you. And if they listen to you they'll trust you. And if they trust you, they might buy from you. So, but you first have to get them to like you. And that happens through multiple, like your show here. It creates a relationship with your audience that they think they can relate to you. What's interesting when you do this, what happens is people feel like they'll tell you stuff about you that you didn't even realize you revealed a year ago on your show. And so, yes, relationship is what is ultimately going to sell. However, there are offers that, can happen very quickly because you found the right person and targeted them and what have you. But yeah, typically people need to hear from you. It doesn't have to be the identical message. So it could be emails. Emails do work. A lot of people, I've heard people say email are dead. As you know, Vinney, on some of your campaigns, we're running into the 15th email and we're still getting a 30% open rate. That has nothing to do, I don't want to say it has nothing to do with me. That has to do with the relationship you have with your audience. So it's not how big your list is. If you have a small list of really targeted people, I mean, you could have 1,000 people on your list and make all the money you ever really wanted to make. So
this is such a timely conversation for me, specifically because I've always done really, really well with inbound marketing, meaning like right now I'm getting a good 50 to 60% of my leads for my finance company from my YouTube and my podcast, which I find absolutely stunning. But people find it because I optimize the keywords. They find me on YouTube or the podcast, and it's like then they start liking and trusting me before I even know them. So it's doing the selling for me where they feel like inclined to book a call to talk about their financing needs because I'm solving a problem. But what I haven't done well, and this is why I'm glad you're on the show today, is the outbound part, right? The outbound part, I can probably 3 to 10x my business by just using outbound, because inbound's great, but I think outbound, you can pour gasoline on your business by doing outbound correctly.
Well, it's great. It's great you bring that up because, okay, so if you're getting 50% of your audience, 50% of your business from your audience, that would tell me that what we would want to do, if you were my client, I would say, well, then what we should do, Beau, is just get your message in front of a much bigger audience rather than trying to focus on outgoing. It's let's get your personality in front of a bigger audience so that you have more incoming, because your incoming's already working. So people, when they see your message, they like it. So that's the other thing about direct response marketing is when you have something as working, we don't want to move away from that. But what we want to do is we want to put that message in front of literally we would dig down. Who is inside of these 50% that come to you? What makes them attracted to you? What are their likes, similarities? And you go really deep on who they are. So to create the avatar that Vinney mentioned before, you go really deep on who that is. And I literally would go and I would hunt them on Facebook, see what groups they're part of and all of that. So we really get tight on a demographic of the things they like. And then we would retarget them across social media by their visits. Then they're going to see your show. They don't know why it pops up on their social media. Yes, you're paying, but to put your show or put you in front of an audience without a direct selling approach, then what happens is your cost per click goes way down. And so really low, because when you're trying to promote a show, it's not like you're selling specifically to an audience. You want to, sell coffee cups. That's a much higher click than a company that might talk about coffee on a podcast. And then later on, they have special offer for coffee cups. I'm just using that, just as a kind of a wild example, but.
You just gave me a great idea, because I happen to I subscribe to Audible, and I get one credit a month, and I buy a new book to listen to.
Yeah.
So I picked this book I'm doing is Traffic Secrets, Russell Brunson.
I have it right there. I could go grab it for you.
And
Traffic Secrets, yeah.
And today when I was at the gym, he was talking about your 100. I forgot what he calls it. Your 100. I forgot what it's like. Your 100 dream
It's
list.
it's like your 100. It comes from Chet Holmes, actually, the ultimate sales machine. That's where Russell got it. It's like your perfect 100 clients is what it really is. It's and I know your dream 100, I think is what.
Yeah, you're okay. So, but I think what he's talking on the Dream 100 is and what I'm gathering is like those Dream 100s already have the audience that you want, and so then you figure a way. Like, for example, Vinny's got a dream. He's my Dream 100 because Vinny's got X amount of real estate investors that are learning from him in the academy, and then I go after a guy like Vinny because then I could get into Vinny's, get 2,000 people that know Vinny that need money and I can finance the projects, right? Like that's like it's creative how to dive into this and then because I can make such a bigger growth leap by aligning with the right message to the right people. Anyway, it's really fascinating.
No, and that's 100%. That's exactly what you want to do is who has your audience that is not selling the identical thing to that audience. That's exactly what you're with Vinny. That's perfect. And there's a lot of syndicators out there who have the audience, but you probably do a lot of single family lending as well. And so, where would you find those investors? Well, again, that you can literally are you familiar with the term retargeting?
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done much retargeting. I haven't had much success with pay-per-click or any kind of retargeting. I know people do. I just probably didn't have the right companies working with me that have done ads that we've seen the results, or maybe I wasn't patient enough. But I've always felt like that was But yeah, I mean, I know it works. It just you got to get the right system and the formula.
But yeah, and that's part of the direct response system. So usually it starts with a trade, Beau. When I say a trade, for instance, if you go to apartmentsyndicationmadeeasy.com, the trade is you can get Vinny's digital book and you get the audio book, all free. You just put your name and email address in. That's the trade. I'm going to give you something in return. You're going to sign up for my marketing list. And I promise I won't sell that list to anybody. That's really important. But the same thing is the first thing I would definitely want to do would be to say, Beau, what lead magnet can we give them in exchange for their information? So that they're not an incoming lead just yet. They're on your list, meaning you're emailing them, and you have an automation series that could go on for 52 weeks, one a week. What's amazing about Russell Brunson, if you've got his book Traffic Secrets, if you got it through Audible, that's one way to get it. He gives the book away for free, plus shipping. He's got hundreds of thousands of people who sign up to his list, but that list is so big. But then he literally is weeding them out through his emails. Like, so people, Dan Kennedy, who you brought up before, he said when you're building a list, you're going to market to that list until they buy, fly, or die. Okay, so if they buy, great. They're going to be tagged and put on another list. If they fly, good, meaning they click unsubscribe, or they die. They actually physically die and are no longer able to be marketed to. But Dan Kennedy really was, I read his book, I want to say it's about 1992, The Ultimate Sales Machine. And that's where I got my hook into copywriting. I've taken many courses, I teach it, but the reality is most of the time to get people on your list, you've got to exchange with them something of great value to them, something they want to know. Like, for instance, I don't know your audience, but I know a lot of people who want to buy houses want to know what really are the bank requirements and how could I prepare myself for that in advance as an investor, because sure, I might have good credit, but I don't have these assets and maybe I need. And so a lot of times people want those questions answered, but they don't want to talk to the mortgage broker to do it because they're afraid. I mean, they're afraid to be sold to. Back when I had a sales company, we would literally selling energy management systems literally business to business. I'd have our salespeople, they'd say there was a no soliciting sign on the door. I said, you know why that sign's on the door? Because they buy everything that comes through the door. You need to go into those businesses. That's why they're like, don't come in here because we don't want to buy. But it's the similar thought is that people are hesitant. The people who are buyers are often hesitant to talk to you directly in advance. And that's why you provide that information first, which helps build, especially like if you're good on video, and you are, when you're good on video and audio, that is probably a better lead magnet today than a book. However, I think when it comes to real estate investors, readers are leaders in the real estate business. And so that's why you want readers. It's part of the way in which you want to build your list, because there's contracts and all these other things. People have to be readers if you're going to be in the real estate business. I mean, Vinney, how many contracts have you signed in the past 15 years? And I know you well enough to know that you've read at least a good portion of those agreements. When you have attorneys you trust, you have attorneys you trust, but at the same time, I don't trust anybody to not to read something that I'm going to put my name on. So
surely.
So the point is, Beau, that to really hook people with an exchange, and that exchange happens through funnels or other ways. So
let's talk about then, what should be the frequency of our message, and how can they take from cold to a warm person? Dave, can you kind of throw some light on that?
I'll tell you what Michael Selzner with Social Media Marketing World would say, and then what I say. Okay, so what they found out in the Social Media Marketing World was that the more frequency, the more people buy. So if you're on any of Russell Brunson's lists or Jeff Walker, these are some people who do big online, you're going to get an email at least once a day for the rest, once a day, sometimes 2 times a day, which to me seems like so much. But they don't care if you leave their list. They're always building the list. So I believe at least once a week, especially when they first sign up with something, you want to get 1, 2, 3 days in a row so you start building the relationship, but you don't want to overdo it because I believe personality is important. And if you overdo it, then people will click off just because they're overwhelmed. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of emails a day that people get. So there is no fast rule. It's really because every business is a personality business. It's about you. You determine, you say, I work with whatever client I'm working with. I say, how often would you like to talk to your audience? Would your audience be offended if you talk to them every day? Would they be offended if you talk to them once a week? And so most people say they'll be offended if we talk to them more than once a month. If you don't talk to them at least once a week, meaning through email or text, you're probably going to lose them because there's no relationship. Imagine if you only saw your wife once a month.
No, you're so right. I'm just thinking, everybody gets bombarded with so many messages. If we are consistent and if we give them some nuggets, some little videos, some little motivation every day. Like I was thinking about David Daly, I think, what's his name? I mean, I got for 6 months his email with different message every day. But there was some really good content. Actually, I was looking forward to it then. When I started getting 7 days, I wanted to see what he's going to tell me again more, because it was helping me in my thinking, in my business. So I'm just feeling that, don't we think that just by once a week, we are losing them?
Oh, you can.
People don't remember much,
It all depends. And I say, if it's a cold audience, once a week, maybe not enough. If they're a warm audience, meaning they're one of your clients or one of your smaller clients, so a value ladder. When I say value ladder, if Vinney has an academy, if they've been in his academy, but maybe they're not in one of his coaching programs, you could get too frequent with those people because you're trying to make them the transition to the next offer, but you don't want to be like hard selling. You want the marketing to do all of the selling so that when they come to you, they've got their credit card in hand. I'm ready to buy now. In Beau's case, it would be they've now filled out an application a form that they want to try to get a mortgage, through Beau. You want to take them to that process. And, Beau, you're familiar with Angel Oak Home Loans, right?
Yes.
Okay, big company, and I'm not promoting them at all, but that is their process. They build this audience, and then when you finally filled out the online form is when you'll finally get an agent to talk to. So their direct response is I could literally lay out their entire, I don't work with them. I never have, but I've worked with others in the mortgage industry, and I know the process that works to get to the application. And it starts with, here's some information you need, and now you're on the list, and I'm gonna email you frequently to get you thinking about, maybe I can do this now. And like right now, I would be telling people, if you're thinking about buying a house, don't wait, because the mortgage rates are going to go up. So you would use a little bit of fear of why they need to go now and why the rates are going to go up in the future. And if the property value goes down, why that may not be a problem if it's going to be your personal residence. I mean, these are things you would educate your prospects on so that they could pull the trigger. So you literally, in your piece, you want to answer all of their objections, so they only have a yes or no answer at the end.
At the end of the day, no matter what we do, whether you're a multifamily syndicator, you sell cars, you sell loans, you sell money, we're all really media companies first. Like Gary Vaynerchuk says, like I truly believe that, like, it doesn't matter what you do, you're selling something. You sell something. And so, this conversation's opening up a lot of thoughts in my mind. Like, I'm not putting enough offers out there. I have a big, or not a huge list, but I have a significant list where I should be giving them more of me to watch this video, to do this. I haven't been doing enough calls to action, right? Like, these people obviously opted in for a reason, whether they booked a call with me in the past. One problem I'm having a little bit of is that I give my calendar link inside my YouTube videos. And I would say about, I don't know the specific numbers, but it seems about 20% of the people, 25% of the people don't show up for their calendar appointment.
Wow.
And so if like 10 people book calls, there might be 2 that don't show up. And then it's like, sometimes I don't follow up with them, which is fine. I probably should. Maybe it was a mistake, but part of me wants to be like, make it a little bit harder to book a call with me, because I don't want people to waste my time, right? Because my time is valuable.
Totally.
Where I do ask them pre-qualifying questions like, do you have a property in contract right now you need financing on? And a couple of questions. But if I'm scheduling time for you, I think it's like on the other end, like yesterday, and forgive me if you're listening, I had time. They get a Zoom link emailed to them. Half the time people don't know it's a Zoom link, so I end up calling them. So I called the lady, and she's driving in her car. She booked an appointment. She's driving in her car. I can't hear her because it's so loud. And I'm just thinking in my back of my mind, like, you're asking me questions where I have 25 or 23 years of experience, and I can answer all your questions, and my time's valuable, and you don't have enough respect for me to, be in a place where you can actually hear me, and I'm not struggling to hear what you're saying. So things like that actually kind of piss me off. I know it's just human nature in general, but I do want to make it to a point where it's more of a challenge to get to me, and you're maybe even paying a fee, because if you don't show up, I'm keeping it. I don't know if that's the wrong way of thinking of it.
You're 100% right on. And I would just simply say this: add a step. If they book if a lot of, I don't want you to like mess the whole, like change everything. If right now you're getting calendar bookings and 25% aren't showing up, I would add a step to every calendar booking. That would be a email that goes out and says, I need you to fill out this form before we talk, or I can't keep the appointment. And the form is going to literally, it's going to ask a lot of the questions that you want the answers to see if they're the type of person you want to work with. But those questions lead them to a conclusion that they think they came to, and it's that they need you. And so that'll increase your well, what it'll do is a lot of people won't fill out the form, and you can just cancel the appointment because they didn't fill out the form, because they weren't a customer anyway. Now they're on your list. You can continue to email them if you like. but it'll increase your people who will attend, because now they filled out the form. And one of the things is when you click submit, you could just say, hey, by the way, your call is scheduled at XYZ time, or the next email. Please make sure you attend. If you need to cancel, let me know. But those who attend, I've got a special gift for you, but I won't tell it to you until after the call. And then you could send them a whatever, gift card, book, anything you want. You could send them one of Vinny's books. You could send them to Vinny's list. It really doesn't, it's a free gift no matter what. So, but the step in between will increase your the quality of those who are on the call, and it'll also weed some people out.
Yeah.
The right audience.
So true. And you could set up several reminders too. I think I know we did it in Calendly. Is there a texting also from Calendly we could do, or no?
So you can use Calendly integration with a Zapier. So you can literally use a Zapier and put it into your active campaign or whatever, and then put them literally. I would get them 3 times on the day of the call. I mean,
I like that. I think we will do it. Not only that, I think, Beau, you said that she was in the car or like that. Maybe we could say that, to have the maximum use of our time together, please be in front of the computer, because I'll be sharing some things with you, and then have a small, presentation or whatever, right? Some screen that way, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, because
No, these are very valid questions.
I give people 15 minutes on these discovery calls. That's my, I think that's fair, because some of them are tired and just want to ask questions, and so I don't want to spend that much time.
Totally.
And then
many times they drag along and long. Yeah.
Somebody wants to spend, doesn't know, someone to spend an hour with me, I'm going to charge them a little bit of money. Not too much, but enough where it's like, okay, whether this doesn't go anywhere or go somewhere, you're committing a certain amount of dollars towards me. And then, obviously the hope is I could do business with them in the future, and it becomes a more cool venture for all of us.
Sure. Hey, Dave, thank you so much for coming, brother. 37 minutes thank you so much for joining from Jacksonville. How can people reach you? Yeah.
Well, you can find me at davidmulvaney.com. That's MULVANEY, davidmulvaney.com. That's the easiest way. You can also David T. Mulvaney on LinkedIn. T as in Thomas, it's my middle initial. And so I'm either David Mulvaney or David T. Mulvaney all throughout social media. This face is easy to pick out over some other ones, but that's going to be the easiest way to reach me. And I love helping people with their marketing. Now, granted, at the same time, I love investing in real estate, as you know, Vinny, and that's probably what passion is as well. So
totally. No, thank you for this.
So much for having me on the show today.
Oh, thank you. You have given so many great nuggets. Guys, please do, share this episode. It will also become podcast. It's live right now in 9 or 10, 11 channels in YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I mean, you name it. I mean, all over LinkedIn. But please do like us and give comments and share with us if there are some great speakers you might think of who would like to contribute, on our show. So this is Vinney and Beau show. We do live every Friday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 Eastern. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, and let's have a great one. Maybe next week, Beau, I'm there in Las Vegas, brother. So we might be doing it together, right from Las Vegas, from my Cosmopolitan Hotel or something.
You got me a ticket. You got me and my wife a ticket for that big party, huh? At Tao? Okay.
7th is a big day. 7th is a very big day. It's got great, at the Tao. There's, I think, ex-Attorney General is the speaker, keynote speaker, and after that I speak after him. So it looks like it will be fun, a lot of fun. And every day there is an event, starting Tuesday, I heard. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's going to be fun. And with the metaverse and the NFTs, meeting with multimillionaires and billionaires over there at the PGA tournament. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, brother.
Thank
you
you.
so
That was
much.
awesome. I got
You know,
to ask questions.
I do want to say that I'm also going to be in Orlando with the 100 Millionaires Convention Summit, actually, 2022. David is going to be there, David and his wife, possibly, and other people. And I'll be the keynote speaker starting the convention on 21st of October, 21st of October, on positivity and syndication. And I'll be signing books and everything and all that. So look forward to see you in Orlando. If you're nearby there, please come by. Alrighty, thank you so much, and God bless you all.
Happy to be on your show finally.
I'm a long-time fan and I watch all your guys' content.
It's awesome. We're very, very, very invested in our community.
It's wonderful to be here.
This is Vinney and also my good buddy, Beau and Steve. And we are so happy.
It's amazing what's going to happen. So, we're amped up to do the show, and we got a lot of hype about the guest today, so I'm excited.
Oh, I know.
So excited.
It's really come live to you all.
You live 9:30 every Friday. How to take your business to the next level.